So tonight's topic is organizing. We've got a lot to cover tonight, but I'm going to keep it very simple for you and show you how easy it is to organize your things in Forever. And then next week, we're going to talk about creating a print project to share. So this is fun. We're going to talk about creating a calendar, cards, maybe a Christmas card, a photo book, and that's a really fun week as well. And then the last part of this series is going to be talking about converting your outdated media with Forever. So that means things like slides or printed photos, negatives, your old VHS tapes and your old Hi8 tapes, all of those things. Getting those converted so they can be living in your Forever account permanently, and you can see them and share them as well. So this is kind of an overview of where we are and where we're going and where we've been, and I'm glad you're with us tonight. So let's go ahead and look at the homework that we had assigned last week. So coming into this call tonight, this is kind of some of the expectations where I expect that you are in your process. Now, if you're not, it's okay. You can always go back, but we're just kind of going to begin tonight assuming that you've set up your Forever account, you've added the profile picture, you've downloaded the Forever mobile app onto your mobile devices. It could be in more than one mobile device as well. You may be doing this for your whole family to bring all of the photos together. We also will have talked about last week backing up and auto syncing that mobile device. So all of your photos that you're taking from today forward are coming in automatically into your Forever account. And then the backup means that everything that's on your phone or mobile device is uploaded into Forever as well. And then the homework I gave you was to begin uploading your photos and videos, bringing together all those flash drives, hard drives, emails. I said, check emails. Sometimes you've got photos hidden in there that are important, computers, and your mobile devices. So I'm assuming that your library has some things in it now. And now we can talk about organizing those things. So we're going to talk about the library tools. So that's the page in the Forever account that we're really going to focus most on tonight. Just having all of your photos in the library is so safe. It gives you such peace of mind that everything is now there permanently. It's private. You have full ownership of everything there. You keep the digital rights of everything that's in your Forever account. Everything in your Forever account can always be found in the library. No matter what albums you place them in, no matter what tags they have, everything, you can always go back to the library to find them. So there's some search tools that make it really easy to find your things. Even if you haven't done anything to organize your Forever account, you can easily find things by using the Order By tool, the Filter By tool, the Show tool, and the Search tool. We're going to look at those tonight. Keep in mind in your library, I mentioned everything is always there. The 3 items you can bring into your Forever account are photos, and there's a variety of different file format types. Videos, again, another variety of types, and also PDF files. So those are your documents. All right, we're going to also talk about some tools to use to organize your account. The 2 major tools in Forever are albums and tags. We keep it very simple, and I'm going to go over that simply with you tonight. And then I'm going to show you how to organize by bulk. Bulk organizing makes it fast and easy, and we're going to look at that as well. I have logged into my account. You can see I'm on the profile page here. I've got the account name, a little information about myself, and I put a photo in there, and that's what we did in week 1. So tonight, we are going to move into talking, like I said, about in the library. We're going to talk about the albums and the tags. So we're going to focus on these 3 pages. You can get to these pages by simply clicking on them here in the blue bar. I've got my cursor in the blue bar here. Or you could click on your photo on the right-hand side and access those pages right here in this little area, library, albums, and tags, okay? So either of those 2 ways will take you to those pages. So let's go ahead and scoot over to the library page. In my library, you can see I have photos and videos that we brought in last week when we were working together. So we brought some of these photos in. We brought a video in. You can see here's a video. You can tell by this little icon down here that shows you how long the video is. And I brought in some other photos to work with tonight. This is an example. These are some photos that were from a family vacation this summer. That's what we're going to work on organizing tonight as an example. And then I also brought in another video of some fireworks, which is one of my favorite things in video. I just think they're so fun and so beautiful and exciting. So we're going to look at that tonight as well. Okay, so this is the library. And like I said, even before you get started doing any organizing, Forever Library gives you so many tools that you can just find things. So, for example, let's just take a look at Order By. So if I wanted to find what I just uploaded, which was the very last thing that I uploaded was I'm on the webcam. The last thing I just uploaded was the fireworks video that I just mentioned. So if I wanted to find that, I can go to Order By, and I can either order them by the date taken, the newest first, the oldest first, or the upload date, newest first, oldest first. So let's go to the upload date, the newest first, and you're going to see that tonight I uploaded the video of the fireworks and these photos from our vacation so that I could be able to share them with you this evening. Okay, so that's one way to search for things is by using the Order By tool. Okay, another way is just using the search tool. Now, the search tool is a great tool because you could just type in any word and it would search by the tag, the file name, or the description. And we have not created the album yet and added the descriptions and added the tags. So likely we wouldn't be able to use the search key until we do that, unless some of the items and tags came in previously when we uploaded those photos. So we will use that search tool here in a little bit after we create some albums and we add some tags and we add some description. Okay, in addition to that, the show tool helps us to stay organized. This is something that some people choose to use and others choose not to use. And again, we'll look at this after we work on the albums and the tags. But I am able to say, you know what, show me all the photos that are not in an album. And then when I see those photos, I can say, oh, you know what, I'd like to put those in an album. Show me the photos that are not tagged. Maybe I want to make sure that most of the photos in my Forever account are tagged. And this is really just based upon how you decide you want to organize your account. We're going to give you some ideas tonight. Perhaps I want to say, show me only the videos, and just the videos would come up. Or show me only the project. And we could use that after we create a project, which is something that we're going to talk about next week, creating a project. And when I say project, I mean photo book, canvas, calendars, cards, all of those things. And they live right here on this page in your Forever account. Okay, let's go back to all files. And then the last piece is the Filter By. The Filter By tool, I think, for me, is the greatest tool in the Forever Library. And the reason is because I oftentimes think by year and also by month. So in my own personal Forever account, if I need a photograph, I'll think back to when that photograph was taken. For example, recently I was just thinking of when my daughter was in a play when she was in the 5th grade. And I was thinking when she was the queen, and I would love to get a photo of that as she's preparing for another play right now in the 7th grade. So I know that I could go back to, in my own personal Forever account, not in this demo account, but I could go back to 2016 to find that, and I could click 2016, and then I could also click the month, because I remember it was in May, and then I would see all of the images that were taken in May of 2016. And again, we are in the demonstration account, so we don't have any photos during that time period now. So what I wanted to show you basically for you to take away and to remember about the library is before you do any work of creating albums and tags, you're able to search and find all of your photos based upon when you uploaded them, what type of file they are, or when they were taken. Okay, so now the next thing we're going to do is start looking at creating albums. So we're going to just move over one page to the albums page. And creating an album is easy. All you do is click the green New Album button. This is very simple. It's the same process as uploading in the library, which we did last week. So if I create a new album, you can see here that I'm able to add a name. So I'm just going to call this Destin Vacation because we're going to work with those photos that I showed you from our family vacation this summer. I can name any name I want for my album. And then I get to decide who is going to see this album. I have 3 options, and we call these the privacy settings. So I can keep this album private so only I see it. And if only I'm going to see it, it's going to live in my Forever account. It's going to be on my albums page, but it's only going to be accessible to me for me to look at, unless I share it with someone else by using a link and sharing that out. Then other people could see it. The other option is to have this be a friends and family album. If it is a friends and family album, that means that someone who is a friend and family in my Forever account, I have friended them, and I'm giving them permission to come into my Forever account to only see the friends and family album or the public album. They would not be able to see my private album. So I would make a decision of who do I want to be friends and family in my Forever account. I may decide, I'd like to have a lot of people be friends and family. Or I may decide, you know what, I really just want it to be like my direct and immediate family, because I'm sharing personal, private, family type of photographs that I don't really want to put out there to the masses. But that's up to you, how you determine you want to use your friends and family part of your Forever account. Now, keep in mind, this is nothing like Facebook sharing or any social media sharing, because everything is kept privately in your account. You own the digital rights to your photos. They're not being put out there and owned by another company or sold to third parties. Everything does remain private. You control who sees what, and this is just part of that. The other option is to make your album public. Now, the neat thing about public albums is to create a public profile for yourself. So when someone's coming to Forever, they could see a little bit about you. If you'd like, you don't have to do that. But I do have a couple of public albums, and I always encourage people to make a couple of public albums, tell their life story, tell what's important to them, because that is a wonderful legacy to leave for yourself as well. Okay, so we're going to mark this album Friends and Family. And then I can put an album description, and I'm just going to put, we enjoyed a wonderful week in Destin with our family. And I can put as long of a description as I would like. And then I'm also able to add this album date. So this is optional, but I know that our vacation this past year was in June. So I'm going to go ahead and put this in. I'd like to have the date in there. And I could use a date range if I wanted to. So I can put June 18th to June 25th, maybe. I can't remember exactly what it was, if I want to do that. But I don't have to do that. I could just put a single date if I want. Now, keep in mind, you always can go back and watch a help video that we've created, helping you learn how to create albums. And that's right here on the left. All right, so let's create the album. There we go. So we've got our album. We've got the name, and we also have the date you can see there. And we've got our description. Now, I can always go back, and I'm sorry, also we have that it's shared with friends and family. So I can go back and change any of this by clicking this Edit Album blue bar right here. So if I click that, I can make any edits that I might need. Okay, so now it's telling me that I can either click Upload to add new files directly to this album, or I can add from the library to add files that are already in Forever. And I can also watch a short video to learn a little bit more. So I'm going to just click on Add from the Library, okay? And I'm going to go to the library. Now, I could use the filter tools now to find the photos that I want to use. I could also use the order by. So let's go ahead and use the order by. Let's use the upload date, newest first, because I just uploaded these. And I'm going to go ahead and select all of them. To select all of them, I'm going to click the first one to make it green. You can see this is the selection window. And then I'm going to scroll down to the end of these vacation photos. I'm going to hold the Shift key, and I'm going to click that check mark again. Now you can see they've all been selected, and they all are now checked. So all I do is go up to the panel at the top, and I'm going to click Add to Destin Vacation. Okay. Now you can see I've created this album, and now I have all of these photos within this album. Perfect. There's a couple things I can do now. If I want to in the future, I can always download all of these files. That's the nice thing about Forever. You can always download at any time in the full resolution, which is a very big point. Forever does not shrink any of your photographs into smaller resolution to put on our site. They stay in their full resolution. I can also come over here and I can order this album if I wanted to by date taken, by the upload date, or by the name on the photo. And then I can also do a custom order. So if I want to click custom order, I can move these around just by grabbing one and moving it over, and move those anywhere that I'd like to. Okay, so you can tell your story any way that you'd like. The other thing that I can do while I'm in here is I could select a photo, and I usually would select like my favorite photo. Here's one that I think is great. So I'm going to select that photo, and as you can see, the action bar comes on across the top. And there are several things that I can do, but the one thing I want to show you now is I want to set this as the album cover. We're going to do that now, and you can see now that the album cover has changed. Okay, so I'm going to go back to the albums page. We'll come back and look a little bit more at some additional things in just a moment. But I'm going to go back to the albums page, and now you can see on my albums page, I have an album created. It's got the name there. It tells me how many files are in that album, and then it also tells me who that album is shared with, okay? Now, if I go to my profile page, which is something we looked at last week, the profile page, you can see that I now have my album on there. And this is what people would see if they were my friends and family and they would come to my Forever account. All right. Now, let's see. The next thing that I'm going to do is go back into that album and show you a couple more things that you can do. So just click on the album. We're going to talk about organizing these photos in just a few minutes, but I just want to show you a few additional tools that you can use when you're in the albums page. First thing, you can share this album by simply clicking Share Album. This is if you want to share with somebody by sending an email, or somebody who's not, a friend and family in your Forever account. You did this event and you want to get the pictures out to other people. You can easily share this album just by clicking Share Album. Now you can do this no matter what the privacy setting is on the album. Even if it's a private album, you can still share it this way. So you click Share Album. And now you've created this link. So if I just copy this link, I can send it and paste it and send it anywhere, and people will be able to access all of these photos that are in this album. Or I can send it by email, and I can even post it into social media. Now, just know if you put it in Facebook, it's nice and fun to be able to see those images, but they do reduce your photographs to facsimile size. Now, that's not going to affect anything in your Forever account. It's just going to affect the ones that you send out there. They're going to be so small that whoever you're sending them to is not going to be able to do anything with them. But it's kind of fun, and it's nice to be able to see that. In addition, when you put photographs into Facebook, they own the digital rights to your photos, and they sell that information to third parties to advertise to you. So it's something to keep in mind. There's complete privacy and ownership of digital rights in Forever, but once that goes out to Facebook, then that changes. But it doesn't change anything within your Forever account. Okay, so that is how you would share that link with others. Okay. You also, let's see, I wanted to show you if I click on one of the photos or many of the photos, I showed you how to select all of them, but I can go through and just select whichever ones I want as well if they're not in an order. And then all of those photos, there's 6 I've selected, I have the opportunity to do anything that you see at the action bar here. I could add those photos to another album, and what that means is I would create a secondary album. And these photos would stay in this album, but I would also be creating another album. Or I can move to another album. So let me just show you this. But I was going to say, when you move to another album, it's going to move them out of this album and put them into another album. That's the difference between these two. So if I wanted to add to another album, very simply, all you need to do is either there would be a list of albums here. If I had more albums, I could click on whatever album I wanted to add them to, or I could create a new album here and then go through that process again. and that would add them. So we'd keep them in this album and add them to another. Or I could decide I wanted to move those photos to a different album, and I could create a new album here to move those photos out of this album and into the next album. I could add tags here. We'll talk about that in a moment. I could share. So we talked about sharing the album, but I could share individual photos as well. I could share these 6 photos with someone. And again, that would create the same sharing link that we just saw. I could download these photos if I want to do something with them, or I could use the bulk organizing tool, okay, and organize things by bulk. So we are going to look at that here in just a couple of minutes. So I'm not going to show you that now, but that would just mean that you're doing things with that photo or group of photos instead of doing photos individually. Or I can remove these photos from the album. So if I click remove, it's going to ask me, so we're going to remove them from the album, but it's going to ask me, do you also want to send them to the delete bin? And if I did that, that means I'd be deleting them out of the Forever account. Now, don't worry, we talked about this last week. If you do delete something out of your Forever account, it goes to the delete bin, and then you're able to remove it from the delete bin within 60 days if you'd like. And I'm going to show you how to get to the delete bin. We did review this last week, but you simply go to your image and scroll down, and you see the delete bin here. Okay, so that is the delete bin. All right. So next thing I want to look at is tags, okay? Tags are a way to identify your photos. They're a way to go back and find your photos later. They're a way to group your photos in categories that may be important to you. So a tag could be a person's name, it could be a place, it could be an event, it could be an idea, it could be a subject, it could be a location. It could be anything that you want it to be that you identify with and want to go back and find those photos later. So an idea for you is to consider what might be important. What's important in your life? When you go back and look at your calendar, what's something that you do yearly or regularly? What are some of your interests? And go ahead and start collecting tags. You could just start creating new tags by clicking that new tag button. And for example, I may create tags for dance, because my kids dance. So dance might be a tag. Let's go back to tags. I may create a tag called Destin, because we go to Destin, Florida. In fact, I just showed you that on the vacation photos that we're going to be working with. I could do wrestling, because we're a big wrestling family here with my son. I could also do my child's name. So I could do Sam Murray. In fact, I would definitely do all my kids' names. I would do my parents' names. I would do ancestors' names, people that are important that I want to go and know who they are, and also be able to find those photos later. So we did a subject, we did a location, we did a name, and then we did events as well, just as examples here. So you can create tags that way, or you can create tags when you're actually in the photo. And we'll look at that in just a moment as well. But let's click on Destin, Florida. Okay, so one way to add tags is to, just like you're working with an album, is you could upload a new photo just to this tag, or you could add from the library, which we're going to look at here in just a second. Again, you could share a tag in the same way you share an album, and you can always delete a tag. You can also edit the tag name as well. So let's add a tag this way, just as an example. And again, we're going to go by upload date. And I'm just going to pick this photo. Okay, so we're going to add that photo to the Destin tag. So now, when we click on this photo, you can see that this photo, this is what we call the light box. This is where all of the information is kept that is associated with each of your photos. So every one of your photos can come into the light box by just clicking on it, and you can see this important information. And all of this information is going to stick with these photos and stay with these photos permanently online. So 100 years from now, your ancestors will still be able to see and identify these photos. So let's take a look. First of all, you can see that the file name is some jibbly-jab number. Well, we can change that. All you need to do is click Edit Info, and a panel will come up for you to put in the file name. So why don't we call this Swimming in Destin? And then it's going to allow me to add a description. Now, this is optional, but you can add a description as long as you want. So I'm going to just say the cousins had so much fun in the clear water. And look at that water. It is clear. And I could go on and on with the story depending upon how much I wanted to say. And again, I could change this date as well. And, you know, when I threw in that date on the album, I was wrong. It was a July vacation, not a June vacation. So this date automatically comes up in the photos because it was saved in the metadata. So your dates that they were taking on a digital camera or your phone are going to be in there already. So I didn't have to add that date. And I guess I put the date wrong for the album. So I'm going to go back and change that. So now we've got a name, we've got a description, we've got the date taken that was already there. The date uploaded was today. And we already added that tag, and then you can see what album that it lives in. So I may also decide that I want to add a few more tags to this photo. So I might want to add Caroline, because I've got Caroline in that picture. And then I also may want to add Anna Faith, because she's in that picture as well. So now I've got 3 tags that are important to me. So when I go back to click on Anna Faith later, this photo would come up. And again, we can see what albums that it lives in. Now, this is important. You can have as many tags as you want associated with a photo, and you can have the photo in as many albums as you want. So you don't have to limit how many albums or how many tags you have. All right. So when we're in the Lightbox, there's a few additional things you can do. We've talked about sharing the photos. So you can share this photo individually. It works the same way as in an album and a tag. You can download the photo. We can rotate it if it's the wrong direction. We can edit that photo. We've got some basic, simple editing tools in here. And you can play a slideshow to go through the photos. And you can also delete here as well, which will go to the delete bin. All right, so if we go back to tags, you can see now that our new tags are here. Anna Faith and Caroline are our new tags, and they each have 1 file in them. And then we also tag that photo, Destin, Florida. Okay, now let's go for just a moment. I'm going to just land back to the library, and I'm going to go back to our PowerPoint presentation because I want to talk about organizing, photo organizing that album of photos. So we have a system at Forever that's called the SOS Organizing System, and it's basically a sorting system to help you determine what's important and what's not important in your large group of photos. So when I go on vacation, we take so many pictures, like hundreds. And I would say we probably all are in that habit of taking so many pictures. If you look at my cell phone and we do something outside, I probably took 6 pictures trying to get everybody to look the right way. And I really don't need all of them. I just need one of them. But I oftentimes don't go back and delete the ones I don't want. And suddenly I've got tons of photos that I don't really need. And it's not an organized way to keep our photos. We need to really be able to get rid of the ones that are not important and only keep the ones that are valuable so that we can enjoy them and not have to fish through hundreds of unnecessary photos. So I'm going to give you a little bit of just something to think about here with regards to organizing and sorting your photos as they're coming into your Forever account digitally. So this is a digital sorting system. We're going to talk about 4 things that I want you to think about when you're looking at your photos. The first one is love. We definitely are going to want to highlight and know and keep and enjoy the photos that we love, because every once in a while we get a photo that we love, and we all know what that means. That's one that is valuable and important to you and just seems great. You know, everybody's looking the right way. It was a great memory. It's a clear photo. Those are your love photos, and those are photos you definitely want to keep. In fact, I'll tell you what else to do with them in a moment. Your like photos, those are photos you want to keep as well. The photos that you just like, that tell the story to whatever is going on, whatever event you went to. You've got a couple photos you love, but there's like a whole nice amount of ones that you like that are just reminiscent of the event and of the day. Those are important to keep as well. Sometimes you're going to have a photo there that's not a very good photo, but it has a great memory attached to it, a great story attached to it. We call that one the story photo. Even if it's not a good photo, like the people might not be looking, it might be a little bit dark, keep that photo as well. That's an important photo. And we'll tell you what to do that one with that one in a moment as well. And then I want to tell you that the delete button is important. You can select and highlight all those photos that are just extras or not really good photos, or almost duplicates where you took 5 pictures just trying to get one good shot. Just delete. I'm telling you, deleting every once in a while is such a good habit to get into, and you can easily delete right from your Forever account. Just a couple clicks and then hit delete, and your photos are deleted. And then you have more space, and then you keep all of the photos that are important to you so that you can really enjoy getting in there and not be overwhelmed with so many photos that you don't need. So these are some things to think about. Now we're going to talk about what do you do with each of these photos I've just described. I've described 4 types of photos. So the photos that you love, again, those are your best photos, you're going to tag them. And you can tag them with the word love if you want, so you can easily find the ones you love. You can tag them love. Or what I want you to be in the habit of is tag them for something. So your love photos are ones that you're going to want to tag to go back and find later. You might tag them the person's name, like I said. Maybe you tag it the event. Maybe you tag it your family or a place. But tag your best photos. And the goal with those is to save them so you can easily get them to create like a photo book or a canvas or a calendar. That would be so fast. If you had organized your photos and you had tagged your best ones, when you go to create a calendar, you could just go right to the tag and click on and get all those photos that you had tagged. It makes it really simple and fast. Okay, the like photos. These are the good photos. You're going to want to keep all these safe in the library and organize them into albums, just like we did a few moments ago. We organized all those photos into one album, and so that's kind of the goal of those good photos. The story photos, you're going to want to record that story in the description. We talked about adding the description to tell the story. That's important. Those story photos, you want to remember what the story was. So we encourage you to type that into the description so that you can share that story with others. And again, the delete, just selecting the unneeded ones and deleting them from the library and sending them to the delete bin. Okay, so we're gonna take a look and we're gonna try that. But let me just show you an image here that will kind of help you to wrap your mind around what each of these means. The love, again, are the very best ones. The like are the ones that tell the story that may not be super spectacular. The story one, again, maybe a bad photo, but a great memory and a great story. And again, those food and shoes and duplicate type photos, we would want to delete those. And again, I will mention, I said duplicate, but I don't mean a true duplicate, because Forever does have a duplicate system. We talked about that last week when you're uploading, where you don't need to, Forever will stop any of the duplicates from coming into your Forever account. Okay, so we're going to take a look now real quickly before we are out on time here. Here we go. And I'm going to show you how to use this SOS sorting system. So we're going to go back to our album, and I'm going to go in here, and I'm going to kind of show you what I would do with this album with using that. So first I'm going to kind of scan through, and I'm going to see what are the photos that I love that I want to definitely tag. These are the ones that I love. So I know that I would want to tag this photo right here. Let's see here. Oops, I didn't mean to click on it. Let's go back, because this is my sister-in-law and I, and so I would want to tag that one. I would want to tag this one. So that's grandma with the grandchildren. This one was another favorite one, the kids up there on the chair. And let's see, there was another one that I definitely loved. Oh, I think this was it. The kids all in the boat. So I would just go ahead and click on all these that I want to tag and then add to tag. And I'm just going to call those the Deaths in Florida ones. I could do that. I could call them Family Fun if I wanted to. I could, let's go ahead and just do that. I could also do them individually. So if I wanted to click on this one and just add a tag, and I might want to call that Marie, because I'm with my sister-in-law, Marie and me, maybe I want to make a tag Marie and me, and we have various photos of us throughout the years. I could do that, because that's one that I love. And then this one and this one, I may want to add the tag Cousins. And then over the course of the years and months, I would just add to that tag. So that is how you can easily add a few tags just like that. But now let's take a look at the photos that we want to delete. So we've gotten the ones that we love and we've tagged them. All of them in here, I would say, would be the good photos, except we're just going to be deleting some. So let's go through and see what we want to delete. So I would always say, like, these two are so similar, I'll delete this one. These two are so similar, I'll delete this one. Again, we've got 1, 2, 3, 4 of us. Well, you know, lots of us here with my brother as well. So I don't need all of those here. So I'll probably delete those. I don't necessarily need the boat. We've got 4 here with my mom and the kids. I don't need that many of them. These two are so similar. I'll get rid of this one and keep this one. So as I'm going through here, I'm just kind of cleaning out a little bit and organizing. These two are so similar. If I wanted to, I could open it up and see which one I like best. But I think I can kind of look here and decide I want to keep this one. Let's see what else. I already have chosen the one of my mom with the kids, so we're going to delete that one. It looks like this one's quite similar, so we'll delete that one. And I don't need the far away. So as you can see here, I'm really kind of cleaning out and getting organized here because I don't necessarily need all of these photos in this album. Here's Sam having fun on the kayak, but I probably don't need all of those on the kayak. Let's see. Okay, so I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so now I'm going to go up and click remove. So I'm going to remove those from the album, but actually I want to send them to the delete bin. I want to delete those photos out of my Forever account. And also, this album is not very big, so I may not want to really delete that many, but I'm just giving you an example. This vacation, we probably had like 600 pictures, but giving you a nice little example for this evening. Okay, so yes, I want to remove those. So now I've removed them. So now I've got a smaller album here, and then I've sent those to the delete bin if I need to go get them. Now, I remember this photo here. So I will just tell you, it is a bad photo. It's not a great photo. It's not bright. It's a selfie, which I'm horrible at taking selfies, but this is a hilarious memory. So I would definitely record the story here in the description. So what happened was we signed our kids up to go on this dragon ride in the ocean where they ride on this raft. But when we got there, we realized that there was only room for 6 people, and we had 6 kids going, and so no adults could go with them. So we just sent our kids off with some random, like, boat person that took our kids out to the middle of the ocean to ride on this dragon raft. And I wasn't real comfortable with that, but we did it. And then we decided, let's go have an adult beverage, and that was the story. So there was some laughter and a little bit of worry, but we trusted in the Lord, and everything was fine. So I definitely would want to record that description. So I, would be able to write a very long story here, but I would have to save those details for later because I'll have to think exactly what I would want to say. But I'm just going to say Fun and Destin waiting for our kids to return from their adventure, which they had a wonderful time, by the way. I was the only one who was worried, apparently. Okay, so there, I've got the story in there, and again, I can add as much detail as I want to that story. So that kind of gives you an idea of this SOS sorting system. So we've talked about the photos that we love to tag, the ones that we like stay in the album, the ones that we want to remember the story of that may not be a great photo. We write the story in the description, and then we give ourselves permission to delete all the others. Okay, now the last thing I want to show you very quickly here is the bulk organizing tool. So what I would do now that I have all of these photos together, I'm going to click the first photo, and I'm going to click the last photo, and I'm going to use the bulk organizing tool because I'm going to name these photos all together at the same time. So I could go to Edit Info, and I could change the name of the photo. Now, keep in mind, if I named the photos anything else, I would be changing it right now. But I want them all to be named Destin, Florida. And I may even want to put the year in there. I don't have to because the year is already on the photos, but I may want that to be part of the title. And then I could add the description. Now, I don't want to, let me go ahead and update that information because now that I think about it, I don't want to mess up the description that I just made. So I'm going to unclick that photo, And now I'm going to edit info, and I'm going to change the description. A family vacation in Destin was a real treat. Okay, so now all of the photos are going to have the file name, Destin, Florida 2018, and a family vacation in Destin was a real treat as the description. And then this photo, we happen to add these tags as well. Okay, now I'm going to do this one more time. I'm going to highlight all of these. And instead of going to edit info, I'm going to go to bulk organizer. In bulk organizer, I can add to a different album. So if I wanted to create another album, I could do that. I could add tags to all of these photos. And then again, in the same way we just edited the info, I can edit the name and the description here as well. So the only thing I'd like to do here is I would just like to add a tag, and I'm just going to make up a tag called Destin 2018. And that'll be a new tag, and now that will be associated on all of these photos. So here, I'll show you the picture of our kids going off on the dragon. There they are. Oh yes, they sent us that picture. It's such a great time. And there they are, heading out without an adult, well, without a parent. And again, you can see the file name, the description, and the tag that we added all via bulk. Whew, all right, we have covered a lot of things tonight, but I really hope that I kept it very simple for you, because that was my plan and purpose. So if you need any additional help, I'd like to direct you to get help from your ambassador. So your ambassador is probably the person that invited you to this call. So reach out to your ambassador for additional help and service with anything that you need with Forever or for any of your memories. Also, if you don't have an ambassador, you can easily find one on writefromforever.com, search for ambassador, and you can locate one in your area. We also have a great help desk. If you just go to your Forever account, click on the question mark in the top right-hand corner, you'll be able to have questions answered and also watch Forever Basics. I'll show you how to get to there in just a moment. You can always email our support team at support@forever.com or call 888-FOREVER in order to ask any questions and let us help you each step of the way. All right, Elizabeth, I'm going to just show them real quick where to go to the help desk, and then we'll take some questions here. So right here at the top right-hand corner is a question mark. If you click on that question mark, that takes you to our help desk. If you scroll down to Getting Started, this is where you're going to see the recordings of Forever Basics. These are the 4 of the series we're doing now. This is tonight's Organizing Your Forever account. I'll put the recording there. That's one's from last month. And then these are all different articles and different videos that we have created over the last couple of months with Forever Basics. So simple things to look at if you have specific questions. Also, let's go back to Forever. And I mentioned finding your ambassador at the top of Forever. You can find your ambassador right here and just add in your zip code to find someone that is near you. But if someone invited you to this call tonight, that is your ambassador. So I would encourage you to reach out to them. All right, Elizabeth, how are we doing? Do we have any questions that I can answer for the group?
But a couple of things I would like you to touch on. Can you show 2 things? One, how to change an album name if somebody has decided to reorganize their albums and perhaps put them in a different order, since they are ordered alphabetically in the list, how to rename an album. And then also how to delete a tag if they, by mistake, type like part of the name or something like that, and they need to go in and delete a tag. If you can show us those 2 things first, and then I have a third question after that.
Okay, great. So if we go to our albums page and click on the album, we can always edit album right here and change the name of that album. So let's call this just Family Vacation as an example. Update, and now that's called Family Vacation. And you're right, as we add more albums, they will be alphabetical and show up alphabetically in your Forever account. If we go to tags and we want to delete a tag, we just can highlight it and select it just like we'd be selecting an album or a photograph. Select 2 of them, as many as you want, and then just click delete. and then it will ask you, are you sure you want to delete this tag? And then yes, and that tag will be deleted. Elizabeth, I just thought of another thing. I did want to show in the library the search tool. So if I were to search now Destin, any photo that has Destin in it as an album in the description or the tag would come up. So you can see all of those Destin photos will come up. And if I search for Caroline, because we added Caroline's name, that photo would come up as well. So that's how that search tool works. I wanted to get back to that. Thank you all so much for joining us tonight. I hope that you learned a little bit about organizing your account. It really is simple. We really keep it easy and allow you to determine exactly how you want to organize with our simple tools. So I hope you learned some tonight. You can always go back and watch the recording. I showed you where to get that. Reach out to your ambassador. Call 888-FOREVER if you have any other questions. And we look forward to seeing you next week, where we're going to talk about printing photo books, cards, calendars. It's really, really fun. See your photographs come to life.